October 28, 1975. Café Marguerite, a modest neighborhood bistro in the 15th arrondissement of Paris, had just finished its evening service and settled into peaceful quiet. The café, with its worn wooden floors, zinc bar, and mismatched chairs, represented the kind of traditional French gathering place that served as the heart of local community life. The evening had been particularly busy with the usual mixture of local residents, office workers, and occasional tourists who had discovered authentic French cuisine at prices reflecting its unpretentious neighborhood character. Among the closing staff was Claire Moro, a 23-year-old waitress whose graceful efficiency and genuine warmth had made her one of the cafe's most valued employees, despite her relatively recent hiring 8 months earlier, when economic circumstances had forced her to abandon formal music studies and seek immediate employment, supporting herself and her 4-year-old daughter, Sophie. Claire's story represented thousands of similar situations throughout 1970s Paris, when young women with artistic training found themselves choosing between personal dreams and family responsibilities, often sacrificing years of preparation and natural talent for stability and security. The music education Claire had received at the prestigious Conservatoire de Paris represented significant family investment and sacrifice, as her working-class parents had struggled to afford tuition while encouraging their daughter's obvious vocal gifts and dedication to musical excellence. For 3 years, Claire had studied voice, music theory, and performance under some of France's most respected instructors, developing natural abilities while learning sophisticated techniques that distinguished amateur enthusiasts from professional artists capable of careers in France's music industry. But unexpected pregnancy during her final year, followed by the departure of Sophie's father and immediate need for steady income, had forced Claire to make the heartbreaking decision to leave the conservatory just months before graduation and seek employment providing immediate financial stability rather than artistic fulfillment. Despite disappointment and ongoing financial pressures, Claire had maintained dignity and work ethic that had always defined her character, approaching café responsibilities with the same attention to detail and commitment to excellence that had characterized her musical studies. Her colleagues and customers at Café Marguerite knew Claire as a dedicated professional server who treated every interaction with respect and kindness, but none were aware of her sophisticated musical background and extraordinary vocal abilities that she had essentially hidden away as part of a previous life that seemed increasingly distant from current reality. On this particular evening, as Claire began routine cleaning tasks marking the end of her shift, she found herself alone in the main dining room while colleagues finished work in kitchen and storage areas, creating one of the rare moments of solitude that her busy schedule as a working mother typically did not allow. The peaceful atmosphere of the empty café, combined with her natural tendency to use music as emotional release, led Claire to begin humming softly while she wiped down tables and arranged chairs for the following morning.
What started as unconscious humming gradually evolved into quiet singing as Claire became absorbed in her work and forgot the need for careful emotional restraint that she usually maintained during working hours. The song that emerged was La Vie en Rose, the iconic Edith Piaf classic that had become synonymous with French musical culture, but Claire's interpretation revealed both her conservatory training and personal emotional depth in ways that transformed the familiar melody into something uniquely beautiful and profoundly moving. As Claire's voice gained confidence and volume, her natural vocal abilities became evident in perfect pitch control, sophisticated phrasing, and emotional authenticity that distinguished professional-level performance from talented amateur singing, demonstrating years of classical training combined with genuine artistic sensitivity. The technical excellence was matched by emotional honesty that came from someone who had experienced both the joy of artistic achievement and pain of dreams deferred, creating a version of La Vie en Rose that captured not just romantic optimism, but also the complex mixture of hope and melancholy characterizing working people's lives. It was during this moment of complete artistic absorption, when Claire was singing with the full expression and technical skill that she had developed during her conservatory years, that Alain arrived at Café Marguerite to retrieve a script that he had forgotten during an earlier business lunch, assuming that the restaurant would be empty and that he could quickly collect his materials without attracting attention or disturbing the staff's closing routine. Alain's entrance into the cafe was so quiet that Claire, who was facing away from the door while cleaning a corner table, remained unaware of his presence and continued singing with the unguarded emotional expression that had made her performance so authentically beautiful and technically impressive. For Alain, who had worked with many of France's most celebrated performers and possessed a sophisticated understanding of artistic excellence, Claire's voice was immediately recognizable as something extraordinary, not just talented amateur singing, but professional-level artistry that combined technical mastery with emotional depth in ways that were genuinely rare and deserving of serious attention. The quality of Claire's performance was so striking that Alain remained motionless near the cafe entrance, not wanting to interrupt what he recognized as a remarkable display of vocal artistry, while simultaneously trying to understand how such exceptional talent had remained hidden in a neighborhood cafe rather than performing on the stages where such abilities typically belonged. As Claire completed her rendition of La Vie en Rose and began softly singing No, je ne regrette rien, another Piaf classic that seemed to reflect her own philosophical approach to the difficult choices that had defined her recent years, Alain realized he was witnessing something that demanded recognition and support rather than simple appreciation. When Claire finally became aware of his presence and turned around with obvious embarrassment and concern about having been caught singing during work hours, her immediate response was to apologize for what she assumed was inappropriate behavior that might reflect poorly on the cafe or disturb customers who might have returned unexpectedly. But Alain's response immediately made clear that he had not been disturbed or offended by her singing, but rather amazed and deeply moved by what he recognized as genuine artistic excellence that deserved recognition, development, and the kinds of opportunities that could transform both Claire's life and the broader French music community that would benefit from her contributions. The conversation that followed revealed not only Claire's conservatory background and the circumstances that had led to her current employment, but also her continued passion for music and her deep regret about the opportunities that economic necessity had forced her to abandon in favor of immediate financial stability. Claire's story, as it emerged during their discussion, represented a common tragedy in the arts community: talented individuals whose economic circumstances prevented them from completing their artistic education or pursuing careers that required extended periods of development and uncertain income during the early stages of professional establishment. But what impressed Alain even more than Claire's vocal abilities was her dignity, work ethic, and complete absence of self-pity or entitlement, despite the legitimate disappointment she had experienced when forced to choose between artistic ambitions and family responsibilities. Claire's attitude toward her circumstances, grateful for her cafe employment while quietly mourning her abandoned musical career, demonstrated the kind of character and resilience that Alain recognized as essential qualities for success in the demanding world of professional entertainment, where talent alone was insufficient without the personal strength to handle both success and failure with equal grace. What Alain decided to do in response to his discovery of Claire's extraordinary abilities would transform not only her individual circumstances, but also create new opportunities for other talented individuals whose economic situations prevented them from pursuing artistic careers despite possessing the skills and dedication necessary for professional success.
Rather than simply offering Claire temporary assistance or general encouragement, Alain used his connections within the French entertainment industry to arrange serious auditions with established music producers, recording executives, and performance venues that could provide Claire with the professional opportunities that her talent deserved. But beyond addressing Claire's immediate career needs, Alain also recognized that her situation as a single mother required comprehensive support that addressed childcare, financial stability during career transition, and the practical challenges that working parents faced when attempting to pursue demanding artistic careers that often required irregular schedules and extended travel. The support system that Alain helped establish for Claire included not only professional mentorship and industry connections, but also childcare assistance, financial backing during her transition from cafe work to musical career, and ongoing guidance from experienced performers who understood the specific challenges facing working mothers in the entertainment industry. Within 6 months of their chance encounter at Café Marguerite, Claire had completed her conservatory degree through a special program for adult students, recorded her first professional album of French classics and contemporary compositions, and begun performing at some of Paris's most prestigious venues, where her combination of technical excellence and authentic emotional expression quickly established her as one of the most promising new voices in French popular music. The success of Claire's musical career led to the establishment of the Claire Moro Foundation, a comprehensive program that provided scholarships, childcare support, and professional mentorship for working mothers who possessed artistic talents but lacked the economic resources necessary to pursue creative careers while maintaining family stability. The Foundation's approach was revolutionary because it addressed not just the financial barriers that prevented talented individuals from pursuing artistic education, but also the practical challenges of balancing family responsibilities with the demands of creative careers that often required flexibility and risk-taking that traditional employment did not permit. Over the following decade, the Foundation helped over 300 women complete artistic education and establish careers in music, theater, visual arts, and literature, creating a new model for supporting talented individuals whose personal circumstances had previously prevented them from contributing to France's rich cultural heritage. For Claire personally, her transformation from cafe waitress to celebrated performer represented more than individual success. It demonstrated that extraordinary talent could exist anywhere and that providing appropriate support and recognition could unlock artistic potential that benefited not only individual artists, but the entire cultural community that gained access to their contributions. The story of Claire's discovery became legendary within French entertainment circles as an example of how chance encounters could reveal hidden talent, while also highlighting the importance of creating systematic support for artists whose economic circumstances prevented them from accessing traditional pathways to professional success. Most importantly, the tears that Claire shed when Alain first offered to help her pursue her musical dreams represented not just personal gratitude, but recognition that sometimes the most beautiful discoveries happen when we pay attention to the extraordinary artistry that exists in ordinary moments and have the compassion to ensure that economic circumstances never prevent talented individuals from sharing their gifts with the world.
If this incredible story of hidden talent and life-changing compassion has inspired you to pay closer attention to the remarkable abilities that surround us in everyday situations, make sure to subscribe and share this video with someone who needs to understand that extraordinary artistry often exists in the most unexpected places. Tell us in the comments about times when you've discovered hidden talents or witnessed moments when someone's artistic abilities amazed you, because sometimes the most powerful performances happen when people think no one is watching and allow their authentic selves to shine through the universal language of music and creativity. The transformation in Claire's life extended beyond individual success, creating ripple effects throughout the French music community and inspiring changes in how the entertainment industry understood its responsibility to nurture talent regardless of economic circumstances.
Claire's debut album, Chanson du Cœur, achieved both critical acclaim and commercial success, establishing her as one of the most authentic new voices in French popular music by featuring classic French repertoire and contemporary compositions reflecting her personal journey. Critics noted that Claire's performances possessed emotional depth and technical sophistication, reflecting both classical training and life experience as a working mother, creating a unique artistic perspective that enriched French musical landscape while inspiring artists who had faced similar family career choices. The Claire Moro Foundation became a model for art support organizations throughout Europe, demonstrating how comprehensive assistance addressing both artistic development and practical challenges could unlock creative potential that traditional programs often missed. Within 5 years, the foundation had expanded to include policy advocacy, encouraging French cultural institutions to create more flexible, family-friendly programs, recognizing that many talented individuals required different approaches to creative development due to family responsibilities. For Claire personally, her success provided the platform to advocate for policy changes benefiting other working mothers, while demonstrating that life experience and personal struggle could enhance rather than diminish artistic expression when artists received appropriate support. The café where Claire had been discovered became a cultural landmark within Paris's arts community, with young performers visiting, hoping to experience their own moment of discovery, while honoring the location where one of France's most inspiring artistic success stories had begun. Most significantly, Claire's story demonstrated that extraordinary artistic talent existed throughout French society, waiting for recognition and support that could transform individual lives while enriching the cultural heritage defining France's identity as a nation valuing creativity and human expression. The tears that Claire shed when Alain first offered help pursuing her musical dreams represented overwhelming gratitude and hope, but also emotional release of someone who had carried the weight of abandoned dreams while maintaining dignity and resilience in circumstances that could have led to bitterness. Her transformation from unknown cafe waitress to celebrated artist became a symbol of potential existing in every community when people have access to recognition, support, and opportunities matching their talents and dedication, proving beautiful discoveries often happen in ordinary circumstances when we remain open to extraordinary artistry surrounding us daily.